Hello, my dear students, and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 4 in an 18-part series of tutorials on applying spreadsheet using Microsoft Excel. In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate and describe on how to create a new working book or worksheet. My name is Meme JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. Let's commence by looking at how we create a new worksheet. To start, Microsoft Excel, which would automatically load a new workbook, and within which we shall have a worksheet, is you click on Start. Then you point on Microsoft Excel and you proceed. So how do we get started? How do you launch Microsoft Excel? To start Microsoft Excel, you click on the Start button, and then you click on All Programs, or you click on All Apps based on the type of Windows or operating system that you have installed in your machine. For example, for Windows 11, you click on All Apps. Then select Microsoft Excel, or you click on Microsoft Office, then Microsoft Excel, for example, Excel 2016. It all depends with the operating system that you have installed and the type of start menu that you have. For example, in this demonstration, I'm going to use Windows 11, whereby I'll click on the Start button, then I'll click on All Apps, and then I'll click on Excel 2016. You can also double-click Microsoft Excel icon on the desktop if it is there in order to load the program. So for this demonstration, in which I'm using Windows 11, I am going to load Microsoft Excel as follows. So I'm going to click on Start menu. I'll click on Start menu, that is Start menu. And then I'll click on All Apps. I'll click on All Apps. From there, I'm going to search for Microsoft Excel, that is Excel 2016, this one here. And then I'll click on Excel 2016. And as you can see, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have been able to load Excel. We have been able to load Excel. I can now click on blank workbook, this one here. And that's how we start a new workbook. As you can see, our new workbook is book 1. That is book 1. And our new worksheet is sheet 1. So that's how we start a new workbook and a new worksheet. Once you have started, or once you have loaded a new worksheet, this worksheet will have several features. So what are the many features of Microsoft Excel application window that you have already seen? So this is our sheet. This is our worksheet. And this worksheet has several parts. So once you load Microsoft Excel, just as I have done, you will see your worksheet looking as follows. So this will be your worksheet. That is sheet 1 within the workbook, book 1. So this worksheet, other than having the title bar, the menu bar, the scroll bars, and the rest, there are specific parts that are specific to each and every worksheet. The first one, just as I shown you in the previous tutorials, are the column labels. The column labels are headed or numbered with letters C or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So these are called column labels. And then we have this section here, which we call the formula bar. The formula bar. And this is where you enter or you type your formula. Then we have this symbol that appears when you click on a cell. It is called the cell pointer. It indicates the cell that you have clicked or that you have selected. And then we have cell range, a set of cells that are selected together. For example, from cell D20, that is column D, row 20, all the way to column K, row 20. So when these cells are selected together, or when you select these cells from D20 to E, or to K20, then what you have is what we call a cell range. And then we have at the bottom of every worksheet or every workbook, at the bottom of every workbook, we have several worksheets. In this case, I have two worksheets, and each has a name. That is sheet 1 and sheet 2. So these are called worksheet tabs. You click on each of them when you want to switch to that sheet. So the active sheet, like sheet 1, which is open, or the active sheet, the sheet that is open, or the sheet that we're currently working with or in, is called active sheet. For example, sheet 1, and you can see its name is bold in comparison to sheet 2. And then we have these numbers. Just as I said in my previous tutorials, these are called the row numbers. They are used to identify the rows. And then on top here, we have name box. It usually indicates, it will always indicate a cell that you have selected, So it is normally called the name box. And then we have all those rows and the columns forming what we call worksheet. So generally, worksheet is the working area in a workbook. Apart from the common features found in most application windows, like title bar, menu bar, toolbars, scroll bars, status bar, and work area, the features that we have already looked at are the ones that are mostly found in a Microsoft Excel application window. So how do we define them? Formula bar. Formula bar enables the user to enter and edit a formula or data in a cell. The name box enables the user to identify the selected cell, chart item, or drawing object. To name a cell or arrange, you type the name in the name box and press enter. Worksheet. Worksheet, just as you have seen, consists of cells, rows, and columns in which data is entered. Then we have worksheet tabs. Just as I have said, these identify the various worksheets in a workbook, and they allow you to move from one sheet to another by clicking a sheet's name. The active sheet is the one that is being used, and its label appears lighter in color or bold than the rest, just as you have seen. Column labels are those letters across the top of the worksheet which identify the columns in the worksheet. The row numbers are the numbers down the side of the worksheet, which identify the rows in the worksheet. Cell pointer, it is a special cursor that is rectangular in shape, and it marks the position of the current cell or the insertion point. That is the point where or the cell in which you want to enter data. A cell range is a group of rectangular cells that can be selected and manipulated as a block and is specified by cell addresses separated by a colon. For example, D20 to K20, just as I have already shown you. So the worksheet layout is composed of 4 components: the cells, the rows, the columns, and cell range. How do you navigate the worksheets? Some of the methods that you can use to navigate, move around the worksheet include: 1. To move to and select any cell in a worksheet, you just click inside the name box, then type the cell reference. For example, P247, and then you press enter key. Number 2, if you want to move to a specific cell, click on it or press the direction key or arrow key that points towards it and press it until the cell pointer moves to that specific cell. Number 3, if you want to move or scroll up once or down once in your active worksheet, click on the vertical scroll bar. While to scroll towards the left or right, click on respective horizontal scroll bar. If you want to move to the first cell in a row, just press Home key, the key written Home in your keyboard. While to move to the last cell in a row, you just press End key in your keyboard. If you want to move to the first cell, A1, from anywhere in the worksheet, you just press Control key together with the Home keys. So when you are pressing down the key on your keyboard written CTRL, press Home key using the other finger and then release both. Number 6, if you want to move to the last cell on the row, just press End key followed by the right arrow key. If the left, up, or down keys are pressed instead, the cell pointer will move to the last cell, to the left, top, or bottom, respectively. Number 7, if you want to move to the next worksheet in the workbook, press Control key and then press the key in your keyboard written PG down. While to move to the previous worksheet in the workbook, press the key written CTRL, and then using the other finger, press the key written page up on your keyboard. So let's see how we can navigate a workbook using the various methods that I have already demonstrated or explained. So this is how we can do it. So in this workbook of ours, in this workbook, which is called book 1, in this workbook, we can be able to navigate the various cells of the various parts as follows. If I want to go to a specific cell, which is displayed on my screen, I'll just click on it. For example, if I click A1, I will have selected the first cell in my workbook, and then I can type a figure or a name or a label like name. If I click second cell, A2, I will have moved to that second cell. If I want to go to cell M20, I will go to column M and then row 20 as follows. So click on cell M20. And as you can see, if you look at this section here, you'll see the cell that is selected. And I hope you remember the name you have given it. So the cell that is currently selected is M20, which is column M, row 20, the intersection between the column M and the row 20. If I want to move up or down, I can also use the scroll bars. This scroll bar here. So this is a scroll bar. I can use this scroll bar. I can also use these scroll bars, this scroll bar here. And therefore, with the use of scroll bars, we can be able to move up or down in our sheet. If I click on this button here, you can see I can, while pressing down my mouse button, I can scroll downwards on my sheet. If I click on this other button here, the up button on the scroll bar, I can be able to move upwards towards the first page. What about if I click on the first cell, or I click on cell H1, and then I press Enter key on my keyboard? What will happen? Let me press Enter key. If I just press Enter key, it just remains on that cell. What about if I press the home key? If I press home key in my keyboard, what will happen? You can see the cell pointer or the active cell now becomes A1. If I press End, from there, it remains just there. What about if I combine the right arrow key? I press it down and then I press End. It will take me to the last cell in the row, that is XFD. What about if I press home from there? It will take me to the very first cell. What about if I press down arrow key and then I press End? Where will it take me? It remains just there. What about if I press Control key plus End. It will take me home. What about if I press Control key plus down arrow key? It will take me to the last row, which is 1,400,000, or that is 1,048,576. That cell there, that is cell A, 1,048,586. What about if I press Control key and home? Control key plus home. It will take me to the first cell in my worksheet. And therefore, my dear students and the rest of the learners, you can navigate the way you want. You can even use the directional keys. Like I'm now pressing the left directional key, down directional key, then left directional key, the up directional key. So you can navigate using either keys on your keyboard or just using your mouse. If you want to move to another sheet, if you have two sheets, for example, if I add another sheet, if I want to go to sheet 1, I just need to click on Sheet tab for the sheet I want to go to. Because as you can see, I have two sheets here. So if I want to go to sheet 1, I'll just click on sheet 1. So let me click on sheet 1. If I click on sheet 1, I'll be taken to sheet 1. If I want to go to sheet 2, I'll click on sheet 2 tab, as you can see. So that's how we navigate our worksheet or our workbook. Let's now look at how you can create a workbook or a worksheet. To create a workbook, you click on File menu on your spreadsheet or on your Microsoft Excel application. So while your Microsoft Excel application is open, you click on File menu and then you click New. Then you click on Blank Workbook to start a new blank workbook, or you click on a template category of choice and click on a template that you want. A template is a specially pre-formatted spreadsheet document. Once your workbook, blank workbook, or your workbook template is open, you then key in your data in rows and columns by clicking on the respective cells, then typing your data. Then you press Enter or you tab key or on ended arrow to accept the entry. And then you save your work. So this task can be done as follows. In other words, here is a demonstration on how you can create a new blank workbook and worksheet and also enter some data into it and save your worksheet and workbook. So to create a new workbook, you click on File, and then you click on New. From there, you can either select a pre-existing template from the various template tabs, such as Business, Personal, Planners and Trackers, Lists, Budgets, Charts, Calendars, and any other that you may have. For example, if I want to create a new workbook for a calendar, I can click on Calendars tab. That is Calendars template. Calendars templates tab. And then from the list that will be displayed, as you can see, I can double click on one of the templates. For example, seasonal illustrated, this one. Seasonal illustrated in here calendar. I can double click it. And because my template is already in place, my template will be loaded, as you can see. And therefore, I have a new workbook called Seasonal Illustrated in here calendar 1. So you can make the changes to the template as you want. For example, I can change the year here by double clicking there, or by just clicking, and then under here, I can write 2023. And then I can click anywhere. As you can see, I've already edited 2023. I can even edit here. I can write here 2023. So you can make changes to your template as you want. However, my interest is not on the use of templates to create workbook. I want us to create a workbook from scratch. That is a blank workbook. So I'll close this workbook by clicking on the File menu and then clicking on Close. When asked on whether I want to save the changes to this workbook, I'll click Don't Save. So we are back to our spreadsheet. So I'll click on File and then New. And then from this screen, I'll select or double click on Blank Workbook. So let me double click on Blank Workbook. As you can see, our new blank workbook has been loaded and it is called Book 2. Once our blank workbook has been displayed, we can then click on the cell where we want to enter our data. So click on cell A1 and type number. B1, I click there and type name. I can click on cell C1 and type unit. Or I can type cut. On cell D1, I can click cell D1 and write or type exam. I can click on cell E1 and type total. Under number, cell A2, I can type 1. Then the name, I can type Julius. Under cut on cell C2, I can type 23. On cell D2, I can type 34. Then on cell A3, I can click on cell A3 and type 2. On cell B3, I can type Mary. On cell C3, I can type 12. On cell D3, I can type 56. I can click on cell A4 and type 3. Then I can click on cell B4 and type Otieno. I can then click on cell C4 and type 33. On cell D4, I can type 40. So you continue entering your data as you want by clicking on the respective cell where you want your data to be placed. And then you type that data using your keyboard. Once you are through, then you click on Save button from the Quick Access toolbar. This one, the Quick Access toolbar. So let me click on Save so that I can save my workbook. Once you click on Save, if you are saving for the first time, the Save As screen will appear. And then from the list displayed, you can decide whether you want to save your workbook in OneDrive, that is online, or in your PC, or you can browse where you want to place your workbook. So I'll select this PC. So I'll click on this PC or double click. I'll double click. And then under the Save As, I can browse for the location where I want my work to be stored on my workbook. So I can click on spreadsheets, and then I can click part 4 here and open it. That is, double click it. I want to save my workbook here. So under file name, where it reads book 2, I will click here, delete that text, and then I'll write students. I'll type students scores. From there, I'll click on save. So let me click on save. Once you have clicked on save, you can see that our workbook is now having the name students scores. So our workbook has been saved and our work has been saved, and that's how you create a new workbook. And with that, we have come to the end of part 4. You can continue to part 5 and listen as well as watch on how you can edit a worksheet. Congratulations for learning part 4 of 18 on creating a new workbook or worksheet. You can access other parts in applying spreadsheet series as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on MLSwap ICT YouTube channel below this video. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me. Let's meet in part 5 of this series, and God bless.